Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth. Flipper, I am going to be brutally honest today. There are a lot of experienced resellers that continue to do just stupid things with what you buy and what you put your time into. And I want to talk about it today. Plus we've got some really cool sales and some cool announcements. Let's go take a look. But by experienced resellers, I'm talking about myself here. But I tell you what, if this applies to me, I know it applies to a ton of people out there, because I feel like I have some fairly decent discipline out there when I'm buying. But I find myself having to do things with certain items that when they sell, I go like this. It's like, I didn't want that to sell. And if you don't want it to sell because you don't want to do the work for it and the money doesn't equal the time you put into it, it's probably not a good idea to pick them up. And I've cut some of those things out of my life, but I had a few of them today. I'm looking at a few things back there that I don't even want to list because I don't want them to sell because I got to ship them. And so you always got to balance that stuff off. And I'm going to talk about some specific things, and I want you to chime in the comments below on things you just shouldn't buy anymore. Or for you. This might not be true of everybody, but for you, it should be a fun conversation. Y'all, and this doesn't always apply to large items, but it often does. Y'all, this is where I want to be right now. Right there. That reminds me of my days out in Northern California on vacation. I wish I was sitting in that chair right now. This is a large item that I have zero regret in buying. Because the cost of it was, I think I paid $5 for it. At the Take a Break from the Interstate. It's bluey. They do scrunch down. I usually put them in a trash bag and kind of suck all the air out of them. Squish them down and then get them in a good sized box. But you know it's not going to break. And it's not hard to package up something like this. And it's sold for decent money too. So 5 into 40. Plus shipping, that is a good buy. A lot of bluey stuff sells well, but if you ever see a giant one and it's cheap, pick it up. Yeah, I've been on YouTube doing this since 2019. I've been reselling since, I don't know, 2001, I think is right. And maybe before that. At any rate, I'm still doing the same stupid things. And like I said, I feel like I have some pretty good discipline. And it's all relative. This is not going to apply to every single person. There will be people in the comments like, yeah, you don't sell those. Fine, no problem. I'm going to do it. And it's always an exchange. I've been preaching on here that you got to look at, for me, is selling the item worth it? And you have to take everything into account. You have to take the purchase of the item cost versus what you think it will sell for. But you got to factor in the time involved in it as well. Time that you store the item compared to how large the item is, how much space it takes up, and the time that it takes to ship the item. And I find that I do just as good on an hourly basis on some $1 into $10 flips as I do, and you'll see one of those today, as I do on, $20 into $100 flips, which has a much bigger profit margin in there and a much bigger profit per item, but the time it takes actually cancels out the value that you're going to get in return. So we're going to talk about that today and some specific items that sold that are like that and compare them to some other items that you'd think, maybe that's not worth it. But for me, it is, because if you take the calculations out per hour, the time you put into an item plus, the time that you have it stored, that's what makes it worth it to me. That's not to say I'm opposed to all sell-through rate items, low sell-through rate items. I'm not at all. You see me sell stuff that's a year old all the time, like this thing. I just don't like the low sell-through rate item that's going to take up all that space, for instance, which we don't have a lot of them out here. We have some inside, though, and I'm going to have to go through them because it's like, what am I doing here? And some of them might be my old favorites that I used to talk about all the time. But space is the key for some people. If it's not an issue for you, who cares, right? And packaging things up. This took forever. This is over a year it's been in the store. But it was so dirt cheap. This was an absolutely insane sale I went to. I went back the next day and they brought more stuff out. And it was just crazy. I probably made $2,500 off of that place. It was crazy good. The price was just bundled together. I may have paid $5 for this. And I listed it for a bunch. It didn't sell. 30% off it did sell, however. $87.47 plus shipping. And that little, it's a Scott, what do they call them? Ventilation masks or something? Yeah. And, it took a while. But that's a good sale. You know, probably less than $5 into 87. The time involved is not hard. Listing and or shipping, the time involved in that bin is what is key. And you know, I'll take that. I'll take that exchange any day. 87 change plus shipping. I'm gonna take you outside to show you a few things that I'm talking about that I just bought, and I'm like, what am I thinking? They're cool. I like them. I know why I bought them, but it's like, Ernie, this little guy took forever to sell as well. This one took a long time, over a year, I would imagine. 30% off, $7.66 plus shipping. Not a great buy. All right, I'm looking at this next item right here, and this is one of those. And I don't really regret it too much, but let me tell you, I've been looking at this thing back there for a long time. I think it's back there. And I may have moved around a little bit because it was taking up too much space. It's not that hard to ship, so I'm okay with it. Let me go show it to you, if I can find it, of course. They're floor mats. How many of y'all sell floor mats? And I've sold them many, many times. I don't look forward to listing them. Hold on a minute. I think it's back there. It was way back there behind this thing because I didn't really want it to take up too much space. And so I slid it behind there. But, you know, shipping these is not that bad. Actually, a little construction bag, roll it up in a construction bag, which I don't know if I have any right now, is okay for that. But it'll fit in a long box. Matter of fact, the box that I do these in is probably what I'll ship that in. I'll roll it up. Maybe this way, I don't know. But it won't take long to ship. So I don't hate that buy too much, but it did take over a year to sell that thing. Matter of fact, it's not on clearance right now, which tells me that I know I bought it well over a year ago. And it's not on 30% off, which means it took me forever to list the thing. And that's the kind of thing that's like, okay, is it something you're excited to list? I paid $5. It sold for $66.47. So well worth it. But you got to have the discipline if you're going to buy stuff like that to get it listed ASAP, or you'll have a death pile that is compounded by the fact that they may be worth money, but you just simply don't want to do it. When I did my listings, I used to do this, and I need to get back to it. I would do, although we're going to start using List Easier, that may change some things a little bit, but we could still implement this. When I quit my job teaching, and I started to do this, I would list a bare minimum of $400 a day or 10 items a day, plus an item that I did not want to list. So it was really 11. I would force myself to list something I didn't want to, because when you say 10 items a day, a lot of times you're busy and whatever, and you pick the 10 easiest items, and then you end up with a giant pile of stuff you don't want to deal with, and then you have some regrets. So that's what I mean by discipline. You also have to have discipline when you're out there buying. And so there's good ROI on that. There's good dollar per hour of labor on that. But these items that don't sell for as much but take up so little space, quick to list, quick to ship, I like them just as much. I believe they're just as profitable in the sense that you make more money in the time you put into them. This one, I believe this one was a purchase on Digit.com. I think I paid $6 for this one. I believe that's correct. Maybe it was 8, but I think it was 6. So 6 into $24.95 plus shipping. And this one is, what is this? It's Huckleberry Pie with pup cake. $24.95 plus shipping, but super easy to list, easy to store, super easy to ship. To me, this one, ROI on the time you spend on it is probably, well, these are all fairly decent examples. We'll show you some other ones. Where's the mats? You know, I don't know. That's still probably better for the time you put into it. But you have enough of these flips, you know, 5 into 25. This is pretty darn good when it comes down to dollar per hour. Now, I have a better example. I'll tell you what, a better example that's sold, but I also have some examples that are going the other direction. The things that I just bought that I already regret. Let me show you one. Do you like the fall, buddy? Here. Turner's got 2 baseball teams going on right now. Let's take a look out here. Yeah, I just bought a crazy amount of stuff today. It's a Monday. Look at this. I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing? I'm already dreading the fact that I have to ship this thing. It won't be that hard because I'll put it in a TV box. And I saw this thing sitting there and she's like, $5, and I have another one in my house. I'm like, all right, what the heck? This is a cool little octopus. I don't even see it on this. And yeah, look at that. That thing's pretty cool. And I'm like, how long am I gonna have this? How long am I gonna store it? I mean, look at some of this stuff right here. It's like, I don't know. And I've got so, look at this. This isn't exactly discipline right now. I've been buying like crazy, but I feel like I'm getting a little better at it. Like, you haven't seen me buy vacuum cleaners. I've passed up quite a few. I will still buy them if I feel like it's worth the time. But I'm dreading these golf clubs. That's why the niche down sellers in golf do so well. It's because they have systems and they have storage that really works. But I can't pass up some of these deals. They're just way too good, and I kind of get it. But their stuff's been there. Look at that. I bought that thing. You see this thing? Huh. That cracks me up just looking at that. That's what I'm talking about. That is one of those parachute surfer things. Y'all might remember when I bought that and who I was with. I was out with a bunch of pickers that you know, out there in Cincinnati at the reseller rally, and it was the last, it wasn't the last reseller rally, it was the one before. That thing's worth 500 bucks and it's still sitting there. Oh my goodness. This is what I'm talking about. You know, and we process stuff really well and we get through stuff, but man, I need to have better discipline, and I feel like I have more than some of y'all out there. While I'm walking back, I'm gonna give you a quick announcement. If we can get to, well, I'll just say it like this. I'll say it to that audience over there. Dibby's been growing like crazy. I've been having so much fun and selling so much, and some other people have too. Come on over and join us. One thing I'm gonna do this season, if you want to come over just to hang out, you don't got to buy nothing, you don't got to sell nothing, to come out, because it's really a cool community. One thing I've been working on today is trying to come up with an item that would bring a lot of people and some, just as a thank you. And I've decided that I'm going to get one of the Nintendo 2 Switches. And I haven't got it yet, but I'm going to get, well, by the time you hear this, I might have got it. And we're going to put that over there. It'll run for a couple of weeks, probably 10 days at least, and give that away over there. Give it away. Not giving it away. We're going to sell it for $1 free shipping. We've been doing so many of these, and it gets such a good reaction. I'm fortunate that 2 of the 7, I knew those people fairly well in the marketplace. They weren't just coming over for that. And I'm hoping that this will bring people. And in addition to that, we're going to have, because only one person gets it, right? We're going to put a bunch of other stuff in there as well. And so if you don't get that, we'll pull like 5 other people and give them Starbucks gift cards or something. I do see at least one viewer sale today that I saw, so I appreciate that. I'm going to go pick it up. It was one of those listings that was in the first batch of the Eeasier listings. We're getting closer. We're just a little ways away, maybe 10, 15 days from restarting that. But we have been listing larger items, one-offs, because we're trying to clear out space. I think this hat is in here. I'm gonna have to pull it out. Had more and more people ask me about that. The link will always be down below. So if and when you decide it is right for your business, and it is not right for everybody, but it is right for so many, go check it out and use code Commonwealth. You can get 30 bucks off that first month. And I've been getting a lot of good feedback, but I got to get back into doing it, which is the process of selling off. We sold a bunch more today and selling on eBay, putting stuff on discount. This one didn't sell on discount though. $12.95 plus shipping. Return of the Jedi hat. I wonder if they thought when that thing came out that it would have this kind of legs. I doubt it. Scotty, I love your channels. I resell and would like to start a YouTube channel myself. Any advice would be great. How much content should I record before posting videos? I guess I could do this. First, let me say this. It's a totally different world now than it was in 2019 when I started. When my answer back then would have been do what I did, which is I put out a video a day, y'all, for 1.5 years. Every single day. Because that's really kind of what worked to grow an audience that really enjoyed what you were talking about, and just the consistency of it and the constant push. It's very, very different now. It's much, much more difficult. Even back then it was hard. You know, I'd see 25 people try and a couple have some success. Now I would say, you know, 50 people try and 1, maybe 2 have some success. The difference now is I wouldn't push as hard to get just massive amounts of content out. I would push harder to get better content out. Even in my videos, there was a time where I would get, you know, 10,000 views every single video, no matter what. Sometimes it would bump up to 14, 15. And now it's it's kind of based on the quality of the video. If you're putting out good content, and it's not as based on that loyal following, if that makes any sense. It's all incorporated in there, but I'll put out a video, and if it's really not interesting or very good, it might get less than 10,000 views. And then if I put out a good one, good topic, good thumbnail title, put a lot of thought into it, it might get 25,000 on this channel. So it is a different world. I would say focus on trying to be consistent at whatever you do. So if it's 2 videos a week, do 2 videos a week. If it's 3, do 3. If it's 1, do 1. If it's 1 in a month and it's really good, do that. Because the algorithm really picks up quality at this point. So it's a tough one to kind of figure out. Also depends on what kind of channel you want to build. This one is like a community type channel where people tune in all the time, but it's not like, oh, I want to watch that video. It's like, hey, I just want to watch Kevin walk around in his shed and say stupid things. And it's just like a part of their daily routine. A lot of people watch while they're working. You can testify to that down below. All right, now this is the antithesis of what I'm talking about. This is the stuff that just, I mean, it floats my boat right here. This is what I love more than anything. And this is where all the folks out there that say, you know, replenishables, you know, they're right. They're right. I just don't enjoy that. I'm not going to buy product from somewhere else and, you know, get the, you know, create product. I'm not saying it's less profitable. It probably is far more profitable, but I don't care because let me tell you, selling this right here just brings me so much joy. I don't want a job. I don't want a job. This isn't a job. This is like reseller Disneyland, and that's what I want. So here we go. But nothing against those folks. They're right, but man, don't come after me. That's for sure, because that's not what I'm preaching. All right, Penhaligon's, Quercus soap. You saw me sell all that soap. The single listings. We're going to make $300 off of these and those other soap. Maybe more than that. And it was 2 listings. These right here, I got to get this right because we actually sold 3 sets of 3. So I got to go back and get 2 more. Do that really quick before I forget and ship those. It's not like I wouldn't do that, you know. I would do that. So we got another one of this right there. We got that one, we got that one, we got this one. And we paid $20 for everything. And I overpaid because it was 8 for $1. I'm like, how about 20 for everything? And that calculated out to like $14. So I'm not a math teacher. At any rate, these right here, you gotta love when people buy free shipping stuff in quantities like this. That right there sold for $74.85. We have been in the profit, hundreds of dollars in the profit already. So this is all pure profit after fees and shipping. You want to talk about ROI and dollar per hour? That's where the money's at right there. Now, unfortunately, I will run out. We have 13 more of those sets available. So I will definitely run out at some point. The next one, I'm going to show you a picture right here because I'm going to go pick it up later. Uncle Scrooge poster. And it's awesome. I bought these. Let me see the quantity on this one. I bought these because I love multi-quantity. I bought 140 of them or something like that. They're down to 102, but they're now selling at clearance prices at $16.80. I am into them for about $1.50, so I'm making good money on a multi-quantity listing. But to package one poster up 140 times takes a lot of time. And so the time per hour isn't terrific on that one. That's why I like my Shop Commons site. I got an announcement about that too as well, because sometimes you can, like I could if I wanted to, take that buy and quickly double my money on it and be done with it instead of, you know, quadrupling my money, 5 timesing, 10xing my money and putting all the time into it. This is a borderline one though, and the listing's already up, so I'm going to do it. But to take a box, to cut it down to the right length, and to do posters, you know, you got to cut the side and you fold it into the triangle because the triangle is far more solid and will protect the poster. I have had a couple returns on those as well, so that's something to factor in. If you're buying stuff that it has a higher likelihood of a return, then you've lost money sometimes, depending on how much you paid for it, and you've put double the amount of time into it. So I've been more careful. But there are some people out there who will say, that's what I can find. And so I'm not preaching to you right now. If you're in an area, in a place where you're out there searching and you got to go for those items, then go for those items. But for me, I've started to pass up stuff. I'll name some of those things off here in a second. You know I'm not a shoe fan, and part of it has to do with the time it takes to make them look really, really good. So I just made a sacrifice since I don't enjoy it. And there are people out there that really do enjoy it. I just said, you know what? I'm gonna not buy boots and shoes that I have to do a lot of work on. I'm just gonna sell them as is. I'm gonna get less money, and I'm not gonna spend the time. This is a great example. I know Chernock, my buddy, he would make these things look gorgeous, and he loves it. It's like therapy for him, and I just don't want to do it. Not for these. I might do it for something else. So I paid $5 for these, right price. Didn't do a darn thing to them. Sold them for $44.95 plus shipping. Somebody else, like him, he would get like $70 for those boots. And he'd deserve it because he'd put the time into it. So I just made a short list here. This is not all encompassing, but I want you to add to it in the comments here. What will you not buy anymore because of the time or the risk in selling something? And are you disciplined enough to do it, or do you cave in every once in a while? Vacuum cleaners are high on my list unless I find something that's really, really clean and really, really cheap. And I don't mind selling the parts of a vacuum cleaner, but the days of me selling an entire rainbow vacuum cleaner set, wand, the vacuum, all of it are probably done. I would take the best parts and pieces off of it and sell them as replacement parts. Car mats I'll still go with if the ROI is good enough. I do Nordic track, holy moly. I used to part out Nordic tracks, and I can see maybe still parting out Nordic tracks, but I shipped one complete, the old Nordic track skier. I'm never doing that again, ever. Record players, because you got to be meticulous on how you ship them. They can be really, really good money. I just choose not to pick them up unless it's like an unbelievable deal, or a deal where the styrofoam's already there, it's already in place, and you don't have to worry about the shipping. Posters are tough for me right now. I really hate shipping a poster. I cannot stand it. So I like to sell them off in bulk on Shop Commons. So instead of shipping, 100 individual posters, I can make far less money and ship off, I can ship off 30 in one package. Sewing machines are on my list. I've got a few more. Tell me what you won't pick up anymore. Honestly, it's those kind of things that I put on my picker videos that I get the most, because I might see an item and they might show a comp of like $500 and I'm talking them down a little bit. It's because on some items, I just don't want to do it. And I know some of you feel that out there. This should be, I just put it in here. I think this is it. Yeah, I picked this. I don't remember what I paid. I feel like they wanted 20 and I said $10. I think that's right. I don't know. This video hadn't come out yet. So when I edit, sometimes I remember. I don't know. We'll say $15. We'll do the wisdom of Solomon, split the baby. Xbot Go. I also thought I might use it for myself, but then I'm like, will I really ever use it? This one right here sold for $44 plus shipping. The next item is a static sale that I sold over on Dibdit, but I was selling auction stuff too, and somebody who bought the auction stuff bought the static item as well. And that box is theirs. Mimi, thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for helping us build that community over there. You are amazing. We love you. My wife loves you. At any rate, can't wait to see you again. And Mimi bought this right here. It's in that box, so I'm not going to show it to you. I think it was $19. It was a really nice one, which reminds me that I need to put another one up here. So, you know what? Y'all want to take a hunt for a minute? Let's go look. I meant to say take a hike or go on a hunt, but you get the point. All right, back into here. I was hoping that was fall colors. This is fall colors right here. This one right here. I hope it's in good shape. It is not a granny square, but it's got some beautiful fall colors for Halloween coming up. So we'll put this one out there on Dibdit.com. And if anybody can beat Mimi to them, she's bought, I think, 2 of the 4 we've done so far. They've actually been selling faster than I can put them over there. So it's really cool. This one, I don't know. What do you think that's worth, y'all? I have to look at the condition. I see one string, but it's in good shape. So great colors for right now. I'm thinking like 12 bucks. What do you think? It's actually a little different than I thought. It is 31 inches by 7 feet. So that thing's pretty cool. I'm thinking $12 plus shipping. That's what I'm going to put it at. I guarantee that it'll be sold before this video comes out. I don't know if I guarantee it, but I bet it will. But maybe another one will be up there. I've got 2 more announcements for over there. One is this. We have shuttered all, well, not all. I'll tell you in a minute. Dibdit Sports has been shuttered, or will be, I should say. And so now Dibdit itself, that marketplace, you can sell anything and everything over there. So I have moved these over to Dibdit. And I'm also going to put these in Reagan's store, because she's like, my store doesn't sell as much because you're selling all the merch over there on Dibdit. And I was like, I know. So we're going to put these on CommonwealthFigure.com as well. They are ball markers, golf ball markers. You could also use them for, if you play poker, to put them on top of your poker chips. Or, I don't care what you use them for. Maybe if you're too cheap to buy one of those guys to get your eBay store moving, you can buy one of these and just set it right there and tell me if it works. So, anyway, whoop, I can't even do it. Anyway, you get the point. We're doing that. They're $5.99, and $1 of every single one goes to Ronald McDonald House. So, and the rest of whatever profit there is, and there's not much, goes to Reagan. Anyway, well, it goes to one of 3 things that Reagan does. Let's just put it that way. She saves, she has money to spend, and, you know, money that she gives on top of the dollar that's going there. So, anyway, you don't care about any of that. But that's over there, and we've closed all the marketplaces down, or are almost closing them down, with the exception of Dibdit and Dibdit Cards. Both of them stand alone, and my Shop Commons site will still remain as a wholesale site only. So, anyway, come on over and join us at Dibdit.com. It's been fun. I know a lot of people don't want to, and that's perfectly fine. Certainly, a lot of people don't want to sell over there, and that is perfectly fine. And you got to do what's in your own best interest. I do it all the time, and I don't expect any other people to do it differently. I, for one, have been buying my Christmas gifts over there like crazy. I think I'm halfway done with gifts. Now, keep in mind, my wife buys gifts forever. I'd like to buy like a special kind of vintage thing, sometimes new in the box. But she buys all the kids' gifts, and I give them one gift each that I buy that she doesn't even know about. And I give them an ornament that I buy every single year. And then I stuff everything else that I think they would like that I've bought throughout the year at yard sales or on Dibdit, and I put it in their stocking. And I don't tell my wife about it, and she doesn't tell me what she buys them. And we're all surprised on that day. I gotta find some Tonka stuff. And it should be in this bin right here. But I'm not seeing it right off the bat. Is that Tonka? No, that's Micro Machines. I sure hope I didn't make a mistake somewhere. Give me a minute and I'll see if I can find it. All right, I had it in my hand the whole time. I was looking for the little Tootsie Toys. See those right there? That I knew were in there, and I was only looking at that. So this is the lot. It's got somebody else, some Tonka, some Tootsie Toys. And it didn't go for a ton, one for $18 plus shipping, but you might remember where I bought that from. And we did really good at that sale. So this is all pure profit at this point. And somebody's got some cool cars. I like that Jeep right there. That's a Buddy L. This is a Tonka, I think. And these are the Tootsies, 18 plus shipping. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about here. Because we're trying to make this the shipping area, which we're going to do. It's going to happen, because Jess told me it had to happen. Because she's tired of fighting over me. But look, there's this stuff here. I've had this forever. That lawn chair forever. I shouldn't have bought it to begin with. These fold-out ones do okay, and the colors were kind of awesome. But there's rust on the edges of it. Right there and right there. Man, I shouldn't have bought it. I shouldn't have bought it. That back there goes for good money, taking up tons of space. I love velvet paintings. I'll probably never stop buying those just because they're cool and you can slide them in there. But that's a great buy. I'm just waiting for that sale. It takes up a lot of space. Posters, pain in the butt. That thing's worth $250 though. This thing here, I could not pass it up. You might remember when I bought it, but I still have it, for goodness sake. It was $5. It's a giant. Send me an offer on that. I gotta get rid of that thing. And so, typewriters. I used to buy the Selectrics, and they go for really good money. But they take up a ton of space. They're heavy as heck. I'm never going to give up these. I love them too much. DVD, VCR combos. But, you know, this stuff. This is a low sell-through rate, big item, and it doesn't sell for a lot of money. I got to be smarter. And I'm going to dedicate myself to it. Sewing machine. And this is the kind of stuff I look at. And I'm like, what was I thinking? And hopefully we can solve it. All right, Reagan's coming behind me. I'm going to give a thank you out. Now, Longaberger is kind of one of those items too, but these aren't very big. And you can actually take the lid off, stack it in there. And I bundled it. I would not buy these for $10 a piece or whatever. It's just not worth the time and the space. These were pretty small. I bundled a ton together. Got them for $2 a piece when you calculated everything in. And they sold for $34. plus shipping, that's worth it to me. This is perfect. Haven't seen the dogs all day because Reagan's home and Blue Ridge Mama's home, so they don't come out and visit me. You guys haven't been home too much, but Reagan has a thank you to send out for somebody.
James got a Commonwealth picker sticker.
James, thank you. I appreciate you very much. They left us. That's terrible.
Bye, and don't forget to get your stickers at commonwealthpicker.com.